Here it is, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, yeah. So, anyway, watching me some YouTube, stumbled across a video. I put it in the Amen Drop the Mic 2. I made one, but I forgot to make it public, so I'll have to transfer that shit over. I think I only have 2 in there now. The one where it's talking about how, you know, people kind of influence you through advertising and whatnot, you know, which is the truth. I'm pretty sure, I'd like to think I'm immune to that, and I'm pretty sure I'm immune to that. Which brings me to my next, hang on, motherfucker. But the next video that I dropped in there, saved in there, stumbled across it right now. There's some more that I want to watch. People who don't watch football. My feature bestie Cool Breeze has talked about that a lot. I haven't watched him in a minute. Yeah, there's 4 different like types. I guess I would consider myself in the first category where I just don't care. I'm indifferent to football. But I don't really get my dopamine or validation from like self-accomplishment or anything. I don't really care about anything. Unfortunately, there's the drinking, which is like just a cheap, easy way to do things. Because like I said, I'm a very chill guy. So I like, listening to music, watching TV, and just sitting out on the porch and watching, life pass me by. I consider that a good day. So unfortunately, my standards are very low. My motivation and drive is lacking severely, which is a shame because I have potential. I mean this humbly, but I'm a pretty grounded guy. IQ-wise, I'm probably a fairly dim-lit bulb, but IQ is overrated. Sense is where it's at. Like, even, man, it's hard for me to explain. It's hard for me to put my thoughts into words, but I truly believe, like you've heard the saying, know what you don't know. And for a normie, as they're known as, they'd be like, that's so stupid, bro. How can you know what you don't know? What that means is just recognize that you're out of your element. You've bitten off more than you can chew, And not only that, but you have the ability to understand, is this something I should attempt? If I fail at this, is the outcome going to be, bad, like real bad? Or is it just going to be like, hey, go for it. If you fuck up, you'll learn, Or is it going to be something like, if I fail at this is going to be, the consequences, good or bad, are going to be extreme. So I want to make sure that they're good and not bad, you know what I mean? What's that called? External thinking? Critical thinking? I don't know. There's a word for it, but there's people, who are like gung-ho, winners, go-getters, alpha types, whatever, who are like, yeah, man, just fucking gotta get in there, man. Fall in your face. And then there's other people who are like, that's all fine and good, but what you're attempting, if you fail, you're gonna fail big. Big guy. I know you're, the hold my beer type, and this, that, and the other, and, you're, you're that guy, all macho and manly and maybe you've got a bunch of skills and maybe you're fairly smart and, this, that, and the other, but you've got this quality, this person to your personality that's bad. So that's kind of what know what you don't know means, Like, gee, do I want to, go all in? Maybe not. Maybe I want to consult somebody. Maybe I want take some time, you know. That's what know what you don't know actually means, in my opinion. But just recognizing you're out of your element. That's all it means. And I mean, there's so many levels to that stuff. Like, gee, maybe I should get on the phone and call somebody. Yeah, well, who are you calling? Is it somebody who offers their services? Because, you know, keep that in mind, you know. Oh, yeah. Fucking, yeah. We got a product and a service, you know, so we'll have someone come out and give you a free, you know, inspection or whatever, right? Whatever it is, you know. Keep that in mind. Where are you getting your information? So, and keep in mind that we live in modern times. So everybody's incompetent. You know, nobody has those qualities anymore. Everybody is diluted. You know? The guy that comes out, you know, to fix your HVAC system, he might be fairly knowledgeable. He might just barely know more than you. You could spend a weekend educating yourself, you know, on YouTube videos and just basically be on the same conceptual level as he is. He's still a little bit better because he's been on the job for 6 months or whatever. You know, so he's run through some scenarios and fixed some problems, but basically you're both entry level, you know. You know what I'm saying, dog? So you can learn a lot in 6 months. But oh shit. And that's another thing too. Like well, now I'm digressing. Anyway, so yeah, football. Another one is people who skip their birthdays. I consider it just another day. That's me. I pretty much forget. There's been months, years, where I like basically did forget that it was my birthday until somebody texted me, you know, from my family, happy birthday. Oh yeah. Then there's people who take the day off, which I guess I can understand. Some people might say, well, gee, kind of full of yourself. But oh shit. Well, Halloween came and went. Big day for a lot of girls. Hey, SC, remember when you were going to be my first ex-wife, number one? We should still do that. You'd be a good addition to my resume. You know, player, baller like me. Actually, kind of looked pretty good. You know? Kind of, there was a time there where you were looking like, you know, Skeletor or some shit, you know? Sunken cheeks and ribs are showing her, all that shit. You seem to be maybe coming around. I don't know. Same thing with Farkles. She got a man. She never shows it. She always shows her dog. I work with a guy who collects rocks. It's the guy who was my supervisor. And now he's kind of like an all-around guy. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's there, sometimes he's in equipment, sometimes he's on the ground. They worked at the pit before this one. They found mammoth teeth, and they actually found a big tusk. And you're supposed to, you know, call the state and have them come out and do an archaeological dig, but of course nobody does that because you know, they're going to shut you down. So, you know, I couldn't say that word archaeological, archaeological, archaeological. Holy shit, man. um, when my aunt was still kicking, she took a ride to the hospital in an ambulance. And when I got there, I'm all blah blah. It's Joe. It's Jane Doe here. She was brought here in an ambulance. And I said that like 2 or 3 times, and I didn't realize till afterwards. Shit. But they didn't even flinch when I said that. They didn't smirk or nothing. Ambulance. Shit. Then one time I was in my boxers and I put my shirt on. This was with my other company, not Walmart. Save money, live better. We see your spark, America. That's where Mrs. Butthead used to work. As a dispatch monkey. She dated and fucked and dated several employees in several different fields. She dated the gate monkey, for crying out loud. Pretty sure. Because, you know, just whoa, just holy shit. Just you had to see it from the perspective of the guy behind my eyes. You know what I mean? Because I'm me, right? I could give a fuck about what's going on around me. Football? Pff, I don't care. I'm hating on life, plotting my friends on the world, bro. We good. Don't fuck my routine. But, Alpha Sigma Salamander Commander Chicken Dogfish, remember? That guy. No, fuck the alphas. Alphas are just cornflakes. Sigmas live forever. But, anyway, which, like I said, I would consider myself a Sigma. Just not the cool kind that gets respect. So, anyway. But you're not going to disrespect me either, dog. So, that's how that game works. So, anyway, I'm just saying. It's called self-deprecation. Problem is, if you're too good at it, people tend to believe it. Like David Spade, the comedian, you know? I like him, but you know he's speaking from the heart. Shit. Anyway. Yeah, just the dude up there in Wyoming and all that. And oh, here he goes on another Mrs. Butthead speech for the next 15 minutes. Yeah, she's a case. I guess she's no different from any other girl. Up there in Wyoming was probably the best. Good God, man. Fuck, this bitch gets around. Damn. You know? Village doorknob. I like that out of all the phrases. You know, village bicycle, everybody's had a ride. Village pincushion, everybody's had a poke. I think what best suits her, because they'd all fit, obviously. Some better than others. All right, parachute pussy. But it's like a great white shark. But anyway, because of jaws, you know, like a goblin shark. But or I prefer the parachute analogy. There she goes, like a giant pink bat. She ain't got a ride. I mean, she prefers, you know, she's like, oh, let's give it on the down now. That's all right. I don't need transportation. I can just flap my labia majora. Anyway, you know, because like Papa Bear's first kid, you know, he's in the waiting room where he should be, right? That's where the fathers belong, in the waiting room. in their brown, coats and hats, reading the newspaper. Mr. Smith, you can come back and see your newborn baby now. Instead of in there in tears, or whatever they do these days. Oh, holding her hand. Push, honey, push. Ah, I hate you. You did this to me. Ah, all the standard stuff like you see on TV. And then, it's all pink and swaddled up. And look at his little mouth. And holy shit. So, Doc, it goes back down to normal size, right? Oh, yeah. Trust me, every father asks the same thing. Does it go back? Yes, it will. And he has a moment of like honesty because he's like this. He's really wrapped up in his emotions. So he's like, for some reason, he thinks the doctor's like his friend or whatever. He's like, Doc, look. Just so. But, is there any exercises she can do? Look, this is nothing new. I know you're a little embarrassed or whatever, but every new father brings me to the side and says, look, Doc, yes, it goes back down to normal size. Yes, there's some exercises she can do. Look it up online. Gives them a pat on the shoulder. You'll be fine. Congratulations. Good luck with your new family. He's like, thanks, Doc. It's important that I'm able to please my wife, I know. Congratulations. But, so anyway, yeah, Mrs. Butthead. She don't need no She don't need no ride for the weekend. Technically, she's an aviator. She comes equipped. She's like a superhero. But, yeah. And then you see the dude. And it's like, yep. Got fucking entertained. And of course, I've got, I had like a bag of dried vegetable chips and like a bunch of water. I'm waddling up to the counter with merchandise under each arm, and I'm like, shit. I actually said that out loud, and I remember I looked over, and there she was, and I actually went, shit. Apparently, that was a subconscious, I care what this bitch thinks. Fuck, she just saw me walking to the counter with a bunch of food. Damn it, now she's gonna think I'm a fat boy. Anyway, that's that. So, as she was whisked off, to her weekend activities with her macho, manly boy. That's a fancy car. God damn. So, you, making monthly payments on that, or you own that outright? See, my car cost me $500. Bought it in one shot. Paid cash. Which my first car did. $500. Still got it to this day. I refuse to let it go. And then, of course, my what have you. The Jeep was just sitting out there. It's been sitting out there for about a year and a half now, I suppose. I have the tool, to push the radiator away from the engine. And then my pick-em-up truck, I drive once a week. But anyway, more truck. Oh shit, I got plans, man. The dude with the I knew he wouldn't. But the deuce and a half, he's all, okay, I got it out, he's in the weeds. I'll contact him again. Maybe even summer. It just is what it is. That deuce and a half is mine. It sounds like. He's going to deliver it. And that'll be a glorious day. Yeah. Because that's a true Pauler. And it's the good kind, you know. You know, it has the look, you know, it's like mid to late 70s or whatever. So, and I'm going to treat that bitch with reverence because, like I said, I don't know its history. I'll have to, like, find the VIN and actually find what the year is, you know. So, where was this thing? Was it used in, like, you know, was it used in Vietnam? Was it used in some conflict in fucking, you know, Africa or some shit? I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, American. But almost 21 minutes in. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this dude, he saw a piece of petrified wood. You know, he grabbed it as it was going across the shaker. And we gave it to the other dude because we got to talking, and it turns out we both have a bunch of petrified wood. And I've got, you know, I'll have to show him. I got pieces as big as my thumbnail to pieces that are like, you know, the size of a shoebox. So, but yeah, turns out he collects rocks too. And I said, you know, oh, I'm not the only one who does that. He's actually got a picture on his phone of a guy holding a giant rock in the cache and says, when I find a new rock to take home. And apparently his wife, when he brings home a new rock, his wife says, is this an indoor or an outdoor rock? And he said, don't worry about it. You know, so anyway, guess I got a new frame. Not really. But, and he's got a bunch of shark's teeth, I guess, that he found, like in a river. Now, they wind up in a river because, I mean, rivers change and stuff, you know, but it's like this, the material kind of still kind of stays the same and whatnot, and where it is and whatnot. But yeah, mammoth tusk. One guy was like, nobody touch it. And I said, I bet you he wasn't thinking that would look good above the mantle on his fireplace. He was thinking that's a payday. And he's like, yeah. And it fell apart. Greedy bastard. Tried to put it in his truck. Like he's just gonna pick it up, you know. Dumbass. So much for your payday. Now nobody can even tell what it is, you fucker. But anyway. I guess that's really all I gotta say, baby. Hey. A whole lot of nothing. So, Katie Boo, I'm not gonna watch that of you with the what have you. I prefer when you do it. What's her name? Ooh, in the shower, slippery titties. Ooh. And then of course her butt cheeks, not faggot shit. But you could dance on my dick. It's not my fault. She, you know, decided to. I don't know if this is her first kid or what, but she's a mama bear now. Got a little infant baby. Goo goo gaga, it's little baby sounds, moving it to the hands and shit. Bet you want one of those, don't you, Katie Boo? I know Mrs. Butthead does. I remember it like it was yesterday. Sitting there. Fuck everybody. Fuck the world, man. How you doing? Fuck you. That's what I'm thinking, but instead I say, good. But, anyway. I already said this. What's her name? But I remember that. That's because she said it just like that. That's a quote. She probably doesn't even remember this, but I do. Hey, you stupid butt-face whore. You got kids? No, or whatever. No. You want kids? Every girl wants kids. Every girl eventually get, you know, once she's done with her whole years, they want to settle down and start a family. Does that apply to you too, Mrs. Buttface? This is what she did. She's all. I didn't see it, but I heard it. She's all. I want kids so bad. Oh, just bet you do. You and every other girl on the planet, you hoe. Quit wasting our fucking prime, baby, making yours. Oh. Was somebody too busy being a boss bitch? Dating these silly boys who just want to dip their dick in crazy? Well, Kleber is like, yes. Mrs. Butthead is like, easy sleazy. Getting laid tonight. Look at this bitch. But, anyway. Yeah. And like I said, there was that deal when I was, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to, and it's like, it looks like her, pretty sure, yep. And I was like, hey, so you got kids. Nah, I think she must have been renting a closet. I remember that. And that's probably because she's tasted the fruit, so she's like, oh. So I just bet she wants kids. So, she was a part of, family game night, and the dinner conversations and all that. Ooh, good thing she found the Gwee. Who knew that he would walk in for the, weekly, do me up head to toe, golden brown, never a frown, bronzer special. Ma met a girl, and of course she's like, yeah. Greek God stallion, do me up. Oh, take me home and ride me hard and put me away wet. So, or vice versa. So anyway, 27 minutes in, let's call it another audio masterpiece. Wish I had a life. Wish I had a wife. Put your butt on me. How are things up there in Chicago? Chaotic?